Welcome back to the 9th Gym program, and today we are continuing our restricted Pokemon guide series with Rayquaza. Now, Rayquaza actually is a pretty cool Pokemon, but it is very underused in this format, mostly due to its 4 times weakness to Ice, which another very big Pokemon in the format has as well, being Land OT. So there's a lot of Ice coverage. A lot of Pokemon that just have Ice coverage have it on their set, just because of the fact that taking out that Pokemon is really, really imperative in this format. So, Rayquaza kind of just gets hit like with collateral damage. But overall, Rayquaza still is really solid. It has a lot of really good tools. Its ability is really useful in this current format because of things like Kyogre, Groudon, everywhere. Torkoal, Venusaur everywhere, especially with Zacian being good. Rayquaza just has a lot of things that are good. So overall, it's a good Pokemon. It's good. Anyway, Dragon Flying typing is okay. A 4 times weakness to Ice is really unfortunate, but also 3 weaknesses being to Rock, Dragon, and Fairy are also very unfortunate. It just doesn't have the greatest defensive typing right now. It does have a very solid offensive typing, though, with Max Wormwind and Max Airstream being 2 of the best Max moves that we even have, so having those is a very good thing to have. 5 resistances and 1 immunity overall is very good there. You can, be good with that. The Pokemon's not super bulky though, so you will have to be careful with when you bring this Pokemon in. We have 2 builds today, one being a more offensive Dynamax sweeper with like Life Orb and stuff, and then the second one being an Assault Vest, a little bit more bulky, but still not super bulky, especially physically. So you'll have to keep that in mind. It's not super bulky, but it's okay bulk. It has okay bulk. Airlock is an amazing ability. This actually just is such a good ability, being able to negate all weather effects on the field. We've seen, last video I did was a meta-analysis. We talked about a Drampa team, and there was actually multiple Drampa teams going around, so people really don't like weather right now. Being able to get rid of the weather is a very big deal, and Airlock does that really well. Of course, it will be on your restricted Pokemon, so, there's a little bit of not really leniency, wanting to bring your restricted every single time just because we only have 1 in this format. But it's still, very solid of a Pokemon. I think it's underused in this format. I think it's pretty solid. Let's look at these stats. HP 105 is okay, and defense at 90 and special defense at 90 is okay. It's not super bulky for a restricted. It is a very solid bulk. It's like about average, a little above average on all of them. For a regular Pokemon, but being the restricted, it's a little rough to not see a little bit higher bulk in any of those stats, which is okay. Its attack and special attack are both at 150, so this Pokemon is pretty versatile. I actually have 2 builds today, and both are physical, or 1 is physical and 1 is special defensive. Special attacking. 1 is physical and 1 special. And so you can really use this Pokemon. It's very customizable, it's very versatile, and both of those being on 150 adds to that. Its speed at 95 is not incredible, but back that up with Tailwind, back it up with some kind of speed control, or even just using its own Max Airstream, which probably any set will have. That adds a lot to this Pokemon's usability. The fact that it has built-in speed control if it's Dynamaxed, which is very good. And this Pokemon is very typically going to Dynamax because it's a restricted. Anyway, that is it for the overview. Let's go ahead and look at these 2 builds that I have. So the first one is going to be an Assault Vest. It's a little bit more of a calculated spread. I actually worked pretty hard on this spread today, and I like it a lot. I think it's very solid, and we'll talk about that here in one moment. And then the second one is a Life Orb set. That one's very basic, and, more so like if you've never used Rayquaza, this is just what it does the easiest, without having to have anything calculated for a certain format. Any format Rayquaza's in, you can just slap on this kind of set, and then, see some results that are cool. So 2 different builds. I'm gonna go more in depth on the Assault Vest build because that is the one I created today. So let's talk about it. Rayquaza at Assault Vest with Airlock. Airlock is not going to be able to change, it's our only ability. And then the EV spread is 4 HP for defense, 252 into special attack, 132 into special defense, and 116 into speed. Let's go ahead and explain this a little bit. So first off, with the Assault Vest, I wanted to make sure I could live everything specially defensive so that this Pokemon can be used very specially defensive. Things like Kyogre, Ice Beam, Moonblast, Ice Beam from Tapu Finis. There's a lot of good special attackers in the format, and I wanted to make sure that Rayquaza could live all of them, and it does a pretty good job at that. So 4 HP and 132 special defense, as you'll see in the damage calc portion, was pretty well calculated for a couple of Pokemon, including the Kyogre, the Tapu Fini. So that is good special defensively. I felt like 132 plus the 4 HP and the Assault Vest really made a significant change for this Rayquaza. So that's really good. 4 defense and 4 HP. I mean, it was really just to make it so I didn't waste any EVs. And then we just maxed out the special attack just so it could do the most amount of damage possible with a modest nature as well. And then 116 speed. Since this is Assault Vest, we can't use anything like the Swords Dance or Dragon Dance to boost it. So yeah, we kind of just wanted max special attack because that's good. Also, special attack means that it can't really get intimidated, or it can, but it won't matter, by things like Incineroar and Lando, which are both top 5 Pokemon, so that is a really good thing to have as well. And then I just poured 116 speed, the rest of the speed after putting in the 4 into defense, the HP, and then, max special attack and the needed special defense for certain calcs. So that's why I got to 116, but it actually is really good as well. Being at that speed, it hits 130, which times 1.5 with its max airstream outspeeds big threats. It gets to 195, so it outspeeds a lot of big threats, things like Thundurus, the Kartana. There's a lot of really good Pokemon in the 150 to 200 range, and Rayquaza, after a max airstream, outspeeds most of them, which is very good. IV's 0 attack. We're a special attacking mon, so why would you have investment into attack? It just contributes more to confusion damage, which won't happen that much, but it's worth, not having any IVs into attack. So that's why that's there. Hurricane, Draco Meteor, Blizzard, and Earth Power. Since we're Assault Vest for attacks, you can't have Protect, you can't have Dragon Dance, you can't have Swords Dance, none of that. So we just have 4 moves. Hurricane and Draco Meteor are its best special attacking stab moves, especially for a Dynamaxing mon, because they just offer the most amount of damage. You could always go for Dragon Pulse or I think it gives Dragon Pulse, I don't know that offhand actually, or the Air Slash on the Hurricane. You can really pick which one. But these do offer a little bit more base power, so they're a better Dynamax move, which is pretty useful on a Pokemon that's going to be Dynamaxing most of the time. We have Blizzard as well on this Pokemon, which is mostly there for Lando. It's really good in the mirror. It's good against things like Dragapult, although, I mean, Wormwood's going to do just the same, so that doesn't really matter. But Blizzard is just a really good move in general this format, and we have the space on here, so why not? And then also Earth Power. Earth Power just becomes max Quake, which gives us a +1 into the special defense stat, which makes this Pokemon start to be like an incredibly bulky specialty, which is really good with the Assault Vest, the investment, and a +1, incredibly strong. So overall, I think Rayquaza is really good. Also, the Earth Power is very, very solid against both Incineroar and Zacian, which are both good Pokemon that we don't really have any answer to other than that. So yeah, those are some good stuff to have on there. Of course, we can flex around a little bit of moves. You can go for like Flamethrower on there instead. But yeah, this is what I went with. Anyway, the second build here, let's talk about it. Rayquaza at Life Orb. Very basic build here. Airlock, Life Orb. 4 HP, 252 into attack and speed, and then Jolly Nature just to make it as fast as possible. Since we're not using Dragon Dance, we're going for the Swords Dance, so it's pretty important to just have max speed. And since it's a Life Orb Dynamax sweeper, max speed, max attack is pretty basic for it, but it gets the job done. This will probably sit next to like either Thundurus or like Redirection or something like that. Maybe even Incineroar for Fake Out, so you can get a Swords Dance up pretty easily turn 1, and then you have Protect, Dragon Claw, Dragon Ascent. It's good. Both of those are its best stab moves. You can go for something like Earthquake or Extreme Speed as well, or Dragon Dance instead of Swords Dance, but this set, I think, just is the easiest to work with, and is probably the most consistent for that. So, yeah, that is that. That is that for both these builds. Let's go ahead and talk about some customization, right? So Flamethrower is a good move. Air Slash, we already talked about it. Meteor Beam is a really interesting move set for this. I would like to try that at some point. The Meteor Beam and Power Herb, that's been a very, very powerful combo for things like Celesteela, Nihilego, and Rayquaza would love to try that. It would work cool. I even did a Starmie Meteor Beam build. That was cool. So I would love to see Rayquaza do that. So that's why I have it there. Earthquake, like we said, for the Rayquaza, same with Extreme Speed and Dragon Dance. So all of those, make sense. As far as the items go, Lumberry could be a good option for a physical attacking, Dynamax build, so that if they burn it with something like a Spectrier or even a Will-O-Wisp, obviously a Will-O-Wisp. But yeah, if they burn you, Lumberry, eat it up. Boom, you're still working, which is good. Weakness policy is just an idea. It's something that it sounds good on paper, but I think will probably fail in practice. It's just, Rayquaza's not very, very bulky. Of course, you'd probably want to go for a little bit of an investment into your bulk with extreme speed or with the weakness policy. That's just in my opinion. I don't know if that's actually the best way, but it's an option. And then the Power Orb, of course, with the Meteor Beam would be cool. As far as synergetic Pokemon go, for the first build, it's really just whatever you want. I mean, maybe a Lightning Rod Pokemon would be good as well, you know, like a Raichu on the team, maybe even an Alolan Marowak, something wild, a little Marowaki. Anyway, yeah, I think, you know, basic stuff would just work fine with this Pokemon. Things like the Incineroar, you've got the Regieleki, you've got the Grimmsnarl. Good Pokemon that are consistently good on the team will just work. You know, Rayquaza likes screens, it likes speed control, it likes damage reduction, and these Pokemon do that for it, which is really good. As far as the second one, like I said, you know, once again, Lightning Rod could work really well, like a Raichu one here. You know, Raichu Rayquaza is something that's not new to the world. It's been really good, you know, yeah, it's pretty good. So that could be good. And then you also have things like Thundurus with the Defiance, so that, you know, your opponent wants to intimidate your Rayquaza. Sucks. Now you gotta give me a +1 Thundurus. Big boy. Anyway, yeah, that's it for that. Let's go ahead and talk about speed tiers. So speed tiers, the Pokemon's not incredibly fast. You know, it's pretty average at 161 at max speed. It's on the same speed tier as Arcanine, Tapu Lele. It's not too incredibly fast, but it will be getting a lot of things outsped. You know, things like Lando T. You've got the Groudon Kyogre. You got a good bit of good Pokemon that is going to be outspeeding. You know, there's a lot of Pokemon under that 150 range. Rillaboom and Didi. There's a lot of good Pokemon. But we are in a format that is pretty top-heavy on speed, so we do have a lot of 160 to 200 range Pokemon, things like that. Lunala, Solgaleo, Xerneas, Yveltal, Zapdos, Palkia, Kartana, Thundurus, Tapu Koko, Crobat, all these really good Pokemon, especially, you know, even things like Scarf and Weather Pokemon that are going to be way up there, and Rayquaza is not going to be outspeeding. Even after a +1 in speed, it's still going to be pretty fast, but it's yeah. And then, you know, our 130 build, it's not going to be outspeeding that much stuff that's in the fast range of Pokemon. But after, you know, a Max Air stream, we're getting up there pretty well. Like I said, 195, so that Rayquaza would be moved whoop to right here. And now we're outspeeding all of these Pokemon like Thundurus, the Kartana, all this kind of stuff. And this one would be up here. Even faster. Big fast man. Okay, they're pretty good. So yeah, that's pretty much, you know, in a nutshell where our speed tiers are. Not too incredible, but it could be worse. Anyway, that's it for speed tiers. Let's talk about some damage calcs. So the first four, all of my damage calcs are really for the Assault Vest build with the special attacking and everything. So yeah, that's here. Anyway, first four are going to be defensive. Second two or last two are going to be offensive. You know, pretty standard to how these videos go. Anyway, first off, we've got 252 plus special attack Life Orb, max Hailstorm from a Lapras. It's going to be doing a lot of damage, 120 BP off of the Freeze Dry, into our Assault Vest, Dynamax to Rayquaza, hit with that 4 HP and 132 special defense. We are taking 77 to 91, which is a lot of damage, a huge chunk of damage, guaranteed to hit KO, but that is the important thing. We're not dead to that, which is good. Next, we have the +196 Calm Mind boosted Tapu Fini Ice Beam into our Assault Vest Dynamax Rayquaza, hitting 41 to 49, which is a guaranteed 3 at KO. The 196 is the most used with a lot of special attacking, you know, power. So Calm Mind boosted, hopefully not even going to 2-hit KO, you know, unless they're wild and they're going like max special attack, and then they're probably Dynamaxing, and then they're probably taking a 2-hit KO. But still, it's pretty relevant that, you know, regular Ice Beam after a Calm Mind boost is only doing a 3-hit KO. That means you can kind of just ignore that guy and take out the thing that's doing more damage. They already had to use 1 turn on a Calm Mind boost. Now they're using a 2nd turn trying to take out. It seems like a much better matchup on paper, but I still think it is a good matchup. Next, we have 252 plus special attacking Kyogre Max Hailstorm into our boy with the Assault Vest, 132 HP or 132 special defense, hitting 62 to 75%. This actually surprised me a little bit. Kyogre is not really doing that much damage, which is a really good thing. I mean, it's not stab, but still, you know, not bad. 4 times effective, not too much damage. It's not that bad. Next, we have 252 plus attacking Life Orb Lando T Max Rockfall into our 4 HP 4 defense Rayquaza Dynamax, hitting 69 nice to 81.2%, which is guaranteed 2-hit KO. That's awesome. You know, I like to see that kind of damage. It's a lot of damage, but we live it pretty safely, you know, with almost 20% if they get a high roll. So that's not bad. 30% if they get a high roll or a low roll. So it's not the worst. Next, we have a couple of cool offensive damage calcs. So first off is 252 plus special attacking Rayquaza Max Flare. This is actually, I forgot to change this, but this is the Max Earth as well, Max Quake. They have the same amount of BP, and yeah, or we're doing 130. It's the same amount of damage. It's super effective. It's the same amount of damage is what I'm saying. And to a 4 HP Zacian Crown, it's doing 96.4 to 114, which is a roll, but an 81.3% roll. So it's a very high chance to take the OHKO. It's something that I would feel pretty safely doing most of the time, especially if you have something like a Lando T rock fall or rock sliding next to it, or like a Dazzling Gleam or something. That's a really good way of doing that. And yeah, also Earthquake next to this could be cool, you know, because you're flying. So that's cool. Yeah, we have a pretty good matchup against Zacian Crown, which is something that is really, really important to have in this format. Next, we have 252 plus special attacking Rayquaza Max Airstream into a 252 HP for special defense Assault Vest Rillaboom, hitting 124 to 147, which is a guaranteed OHKO even through the Assault Vest and Max Investment. Of course, you know, if it Dynamaxes, then we don't, but still a great calc to have and a great thing to have a good matchup for is the Rillaboom. So that's it for the damage calcs. Let's go ahead and talk about Single Spotlight real quick before I end the video. I'm already 16 minutes in, so let's hurry this up. Single Spotlight, nothing gonna be too crazy here. We're going for a Life Orb Dragon Dance set. This could be Swords Dance if you want. It could also go for a Choice Band and then 4 moves if you want. There's a couple of different ways, but I think Rayquaza as an all-out attacker is just the best way of doing it in Single Spotlight, or in singles in general. Dragon Ascent, Dragon Claw, good stab moves that are physical, extreme speed, and Dragon Dance. Like I said, that could be Swords Dance as well. Nothing too crazy. I'm not trying to recreate the wheel here. Rayquaza's just doing Rayquaza things where it does a lot of damage, and that's about it. And as far as the EV spread goes, I went for 252 into attack and 252 plus into speed. You know, being jolly nature, just doing as much damage as possible. And then the leftover 4 into defense, because we're not going to be Dynamax the first turn. We're going to Dragon Dance. So yeah. Anyway, that is it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe. It makes a huge difference. It really does. Rayquaza is pretty good. I really do think it's pretty good. It's underrated in this format. It's underused. You know, it's like not even top 100. I actually, it might be like, it's number 101 on Picolytics. So yeah, it's pretty underused. Anyway, that is it for the video. Hope you have a great week, and goodbye.